What's up, game boys and girls? Big T here, back with another video, and we're here to talk today about game key cards. Yes. But don't worry, it's not going to be a negative video about game key cards. It's just a kind of explanatory video. As you can see from the title itself, we're talking about the Switch tax and whatnot. That goes back obviously to the Switch 1, and we're just going to talk about that. So I just want to give some background on what kind of gamer I am, how much I enjoy physical games, why do I enjoy them. It's not just a collector thing, like I having stacks of games on my shelf and wall. That's not what it's about for me. Is it nice to have that? Yeah, it makes me. This is my nice, cozy area. This is my area, so I feel really good being in here. Because it just, it's nostalgia everywhere. It just takes me back to a certain time period, so that's great. But that's not why I collect, or quote unquote collect. Maybe I'll talk some more about me as a collector. That's not why I like physical games. Physical games for me, it's a personal attachment to it. That's why I like to have physical games, because it's a personal attachment. Like I said, it reminds me of certain time periods in my life. Being able to just hold that game or see that game on the shelf, it just takes me back to what I was doing at the time that game came out and when I bought it. And that's just how I remember it. It's a piece of me, and it's really important to me. Gaming is important to me because I think it's a great art form. It's a great outlet for my psyche. But it's just one of the coolest hobbies I think that are out there, and I appreciate it when I can express that in a physical way. Obviously, it helps me when I'm making videos to hold the box up and hold the game up and talk about it that way. Is it necessary? No. I could show clips and whatnot. I could do that. I do that anyway, but I can show clips of games. But it's a more personal kind of aspect to it when it's a physical game. So, do I only play physical games? Of course not. I have, obviously, the Nintendo Switch, Switch 2. I have a bunch of, digital games only on the Switch 2 that I got from Switch 1. I haven't bought anything digital only on Switch 2, other than, I guess, Mario Kart 8. I keep calling it Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart World is digital only because I got it with the bundle and whatnot. And I have my little case on here in case you're wondering what's going on. I like this little case. And because I could just dock it. I don't have to take it off to dock it. So that's great. So I have digital games on here. So I'm not afraid of digital games. Obviously, if you guys know me, you know that I have both a Lenovo Legion Go, which is a handheld PC, which is very Switch-like. If you hadn't seen one before, you can detach the controllers just like you would a Nintendo Switch. Obviously, it is very much influenced by that. I just turned it on by mistake, but there it is. A little crusty little screen going on. Here it is, turning on. So this is a PC. This is literally a PC that I game on. It's great to take my PC games on the go, stuff that I can't even play on my Steam Deck. This is I really fell into the Steam Deck. I was kind of hating on it at first, but the more I paid attention to it, the more I liked it. And this is a console. A lot of people will say this is a portable PC. Sure, you can do PC things on here you want, but the minute you turn this on, power it on, do nothing special to it, this is a console. It goes right into Steam mode, big picture mode, and that's basically a Steam console. And I love that because I think for people who don't care about PC gaming, who don't want to get into the intricacies of that, this is fantastic for that because it just boots up to your Steam library. You play games. If you want to do PC stuff, you can jump into the Linux desktop if you want. A lot of people don't know Linux or like Linux. It's one of the more niche. There's millions of people that use Linux, but I'm just saying it's a much smaller install base as far as Windows and even Mac OS. So yeah, you can get into all that if you want, but that's even more kind of nerdier kind of stuff. It's more niche to do PC stuff on a Steam Deck. So that's why I refer to this as a console. You turn it on, you play games. That's what it's about. Can you do more with it? Sure. But this is a console first, right? So there's a bunch of digital games on here. I have 2 terabytes of space on here. It's almost all filled up. I have a 1 terabyte micro SD card and a 1 terabyte SSD in here. So fantastic. Great for that. And I obviously play a lot of digital games there. Now, some of my digital games overlap. Like I have bought digital games after I bought the physical copy. That's not usually what I do. I usually buy the digital game first and then buy the physical copy later, because that's a way for me to just like put it on a shelf, you know. But I want to play the game. But if I can play it digitally on the go on one of my handhelds, I'll do that and just keep the cart or the disc completely sealed. Which that's the collector in me. It's not I'm gonna go out and buy a bunch of stuff that I'm never gonna play and collect it. No, my collecting is I buy a digital game and put the physical game away. Keep it sealed. I don't do that for everything, but I will do that on occasion, especially if the digital game comes out first. It's an indie game, and they put out a physical copy later. I support that. I go out and buy it. So that's the kind of gamer I am. When it comes to emulation, do I emulate? Sure I do. You guys, if you watched my recent Sega Saturn celebration video, 30 years of Sega Saturn, you saw that I have this thing called the Saru, which I hate to say emulator because it's not. You're using the hardware of the console itself. I don't have the one here, but there's a cartridge that goes in the back of this. You use that, you play your games off of that cart. And same thing for my favorite game console of all time, the N64. This is the Summer Cart, which is basically like an EverDrive, just 3 times as cheap. This is a third of the price of an EverDrive, and it does everything the EverDrive does and probably a little more. And I highly recommend this. You put your micro SD card in there, you go to work, and you can play whatever you want to play. But again, even on that aspect, even when I'm emulating, let's say there's super expensive games on the N64 that I will never pay for, something like what's the game? It's a racing game. I can't think of the name of it, but it's like really expensive. It's notoriously expensive. I will play it on my cart here, my Summer Cart here, 64. Again, not emulation, but I'll play it off that because I'm using original hardware. But when I get a chance, I'm going to get a physical copy of it. So I want to show you what I do. Obviously, I buy reproductions, which are way, way cheaper. I don't think collectors care about reproduction games because they're all about original stuff. I'm a collector, but I don't care about having the original copy for everything. Some things I don't mind. I just want a physical copy of it. Like I don't want to spend oodles and oodles of money to do it. So I just want a physical copy of it. So I will buy, a repro game. But there recently, in the N64 scene, the homebrew scene, whatever you want to call it, the modding scene, there has been a bunch of unreleased games that have popped up. Developers are just throwing them online or whatever. They've popped up in like. What are those carts called? Development carts or whatever. Just sitting on a cart and nobody ever played it. And so I get to play those using my Summer Cart. But I can also look for the homebrew, the kind of not homebrew. I just said what it's called. The repro community, and I can get physical copies of those games that were only digital, like a Telecation. How do you spell? That's it. Yeah, Telecation Gemini. So this is a full-on game, a new game made for the N64 that was beforehand only. You can only play it on emulators. You can only play it on you can only play it on your Summer Carts or your EverDrives or whatever. But somebody made a physical cart of the game, and of course I'm gonna jump on it. This is a cool, like, puzzly platformer game made by one of those one-person games or whatever. Completely original game, and I'm saying, yeah, if I can get a cart for that, I'm gonna get it. And the cool thing is that people even make top labels for these games. If it's hard to see with all this light. People make top labels for even the repro stuff, the homebrew stuff. And so you can get a top label made and get your cart going, and it's beautiful. Viewpoint is another game. This is a game that was never released. This was a finished, game that was supposed to be on the N64. It's very Star Fox-like, not of that quality, obviously, but I don't even know if this game is finished. I feel like it's finished. I haven't played it that far, but yeah, it's on a cart. And once I see that, I want to get that. I'll pay the extra, even though I don't have to. I can easily just play it digitally on my Summer Cart and it'd be fine. But I like to have the physical copy. And here's another game that basically the community finished. This is Dinosaur Planet, the original version of Dinosaur Planet with what's the fox's name? No, was he a fox or a wolf? I can't remember. But the original character that was not Star Fox, that was Saber. Was it Saber? The original character that was in this game. It was Saber and Crystal. And Crystal had a complete whole storyline that she played as if you played the original version, which got taken out of Star Fox Adventures. Star Fox Adventure for GameCube, and so we lost that. But because the beta was dropped of the game, and the modding community, the homebrew community got together and finished this game, now I have a physical cart of the game that I was waiting for, for years for the N64 that I never got, and I had to eventually play the Star Fox Adventures version. But this is the full game at this point. And that's fantastic. It's on a cart, so I paid the extra. It was a stupid price, though. I think I paid like $70 for this cart, which is insane. I think it's a little cheaper now, maybe down to 50 something. But I was happy and willing to do that to have a physical copy of that. And I don't know, I'm not really sure. I just threw these in here. But again, modding community made Grand Theft Auto run on the Dreamcast, and I was like, yeah, I totally got to have physical copies of those games. I don't even know how well they run. I know they were pretty close to making Grand Theft Auto 3 run pretty well, if not perfectly, as far as 30 frames or whatever. Some slight hiccups there and there, but I don't even know about Vice City. I just saw somebody was selling this as a double pack together, and I was like, yeah, I'm getting that totally, because I like the physical aspect of it. And that's what I want to say. So when people talk about because there's talk now about the Switch tax again, basically, and even back then on the original Switch, I was all for the Switch tax if I can get my game on a cart. I knew that it was more expensive to do that for companies. I don't blame the companies for that at all, unless they're just being obviously cheap when other companies are paying for it, and the bigger companies are not. Small. I've seen situations where smaller companies are paying for these 64 megabyte or 64 gigabyte carts, where these bigger companies are not, and I feel like that's cheap. But I think for the most part, I'm not upset with third parties who want to use a game key card. I just, in my heart of hearts, never thought it would be this prevalent, and that's my main reason. My main gripe with game key cards is not that they exist, is that they exist so much. If they weren't so prevalent, so crazy used, let's say if it was a 60-40 even situation, a 70-30, 70% used carts and 30% to 40% decided to use key cards, I think I would feel a whole lot better about that. But almost every game coming out is a game key card, and I'm not cool with that. So if you're a company who's putting out game key cards, I'm not going to buy your game on Switch. I'm sorry, I'm just not going to do it. But if your game costs more on Switch and it's a game key card, and you went out and you put the game all in a card, I think that's happening with Ukulele. I don't know if there's a confirmation on that yet. It might be $40 on like Xbox and PlayStation, but it's $50 on Switch 2. I am fine paying the extra $10. Yes, I will pay the Switch tax. I said that 8 years ago on the Switch 1. I'm saying that again on Switch 2. That's how much I care about having physical media. I will pay more. I will happily pay more for the physical media because it means that much to me, And it's cool that Nintendo is obviously releasing GameCube games and whatnot all on the Nintendo Switch Online. So there's games that are like super expensive to buy physically from a third party. It's like Nintendo's not making money off that, but they're super expensive to buy these games from a third party person. So it's cool that Nintendo's putting these games on Nintendo Switch Online for the GameCube and whatnot. But again, for me, I bought these games back then. Actually, I didn't buy Cubivore back then. Cubivore was a last 5 or 6 months purchase, or maybe a little older than that, that I got Cubivore. Complete, by the way. This is expensive. Complete. But it was worth it for me, for this game specifically. And I also got Cubivore originally, because it came out originally on the N64. It came out in Japan originally on the N64. Somebody translated that version and put it in English on the N64, and they put a cart. And I also have the cart. I didn't put it over here, but I also bought the cart for N64 for Cubivore because that was the original place it came out for. I'm like, yeah, I'm totally gonna have to own that. I have to own that, you know. And you know, there's games like I said that are super expensive, like Fire Emblem, Path of Radiance for GameCube, that I think at some point will end up on Nintendo Switch Online. There's my copy here. And again, I only paid $50 for this back in the day, so it wasn't like you know I had to go out and pay. I think this is like over $250 at this point, maybe a little more. I'm not sure. Complete, I think it's that much. But also, Chibi Robo just dropped. Chibi Robo Ziplash. I can't believe I just said that. Chibi Robo. What's the subtitle? Plug into Adventure. Yeah, I have it complete. But yeah, I didn't pay crazy money for it. I think I paid $30 for this, $35 back in the day. But obviously it's up over, I think it's nearing 200 complete, maybe more. And I don't expect people to pay for that. Same thing with Skies of Arcadia Legends, the GameCube kind of remaster. I don't know what you want to call it. It has more content in it. It's not really better looking or anything like that than the Dreamcast version. And then this, I kind of broke the bank on this because I wanted to complete the series, the Dot Hack, for PS2. This is stupid price. I paid maybe a year and a half ago. I bought this because I had 1 through 3, and it just got to me that I didn't have the final, piece of that story. So I paid stupid money for this. But this is so cool. And this is to talk about physical natures of things. This came with a movie. That's a DVD, anime of the story so far, kind of. And obviously there's the game there. You can see PS2 at the bottom. But that's what you miss when you lose the physical copy. You lose the booklet, like that. I always go through my booklet. Some people just, I just want to have it in there. No, I take the bad boy out. I read through it a few times. I used to put my notes because it has like, I don't know if this one has it, but you can put notes in the back. This one doesn't have it. But yeah, there was a little section to write notes for like what you're doing in the game itself. And yeah, like having physical copies of the games is very important to me. That's just the nature of the type of gamer I am, and I have no problem paying more. There's some people out there, YouTubers that I like, saying, just kind of like, are you really gonna pay more for? Yeah, I'm gonna pay more, and that might be a niche market, but it's still a market that matters. You know what's a niche market? People who play vinyl. But that is still a thriving niche market. It's just because more people play their music digitally doesn't mean that vinyl doesn't matter anymore, right? I mean, like that's crazy. That's one of the YouTubers I watched said that about a lot more people play digitally now. So does it really matter? Yeah, for a lot of people it does matter. If we were talking 30% of 150 million, that's still a lot of people. 150 million, I'm talking about the Switch, right? So even if 30%, I think the Switch is a lot higher. So I think it's more physical, 60-ish, somewhere in the 60% that people still buy games, 65%, somewhere around there. That's a huge amount of people. You just want to, just because digital is the future, just those people don't matter anymore? No, that's crazy. Like, if you're talking even 20 million, 15 million people only playing, 15 million out of 80 million people, that's still 15 million people who are willing to spend extra money to have physical games, and to just dismiss that like it doesn't matter anymore because 80% to 85% of the people aren't playing that way anymore. That's crazy. Like that's what's wrong with business today. That's what's wrong with like the mentality of a lot of people today, is that just because it's a minority of people that do something, or a niche of people do something, now it doesn't matter. No, that's still a nice chunk of market that you would want to keep. You want to have keep those people happy. It's crazy to me to think, oh, well, there's an overwhelming majority that do it this way, so screw everybody else. Like, that's crazy to me. It's not even just backwards, it's just crazy. So yes, I will spend more. Random YouTube guy who I like saying, will you spend more? Yes. I said that 8 years ago. Go watch my video. I already said that. This is nothing new. So game key cards isn't changing that. I still will pay for physical versions of games because the type of gamer I am, I have a affinity for. I have a closeness to. I have a it's a more, I said closeness already. It's just what I like as a gamer. Like I said, the affinity for it, and just the way I like to play games. I like having physical games. I also like the control. I don't have to worry about, well, will this play if the server isn't working? Yeah, people say, oh, the servers are always up. Yeah, are they though? Like, I'm pretty sure you can't download anymore on 3DS. I don't know about Wii U at this point. I thought that was a done deal as well. I could be wrong. But I don't want to have to. Why should I have to run to a server when I can just put the disc in? I don't have to worry about online. I mean, maybe I just don't want to worry about that in a console that's 20 years old. I just want to be able to play the game off the disc, or if I'm going to download something, let me download it from the disc and not have to worry about a server or any of that thing. To me, that takes away the value of it. I value physical copies more. And like I was saying, when it comes to me as a gamer, yeah, there are things in my collection that are collector's items that I don't actively play on. You can see kind of, not really, that's not it. But I have a copy way at the top there. You can't see it there. But I have a couple copies of Xenoblade Chronicles X on Nintendo Wii U. I have a couple of copies of that. Actually, I have 3 copies in total. I have 2 that are the collector's edition, and that's a collector item, yes. But I played the crap out of that game, 300 hours almost, in Xenoblade Chronicles. So it's not like I'm not playing. I'm not that kind of collector, that kind of gamer, where I'm just buying things to accumulate. And I want to do a video about that too, because there's a lot of people selling their collections videos popping up, and I just want to talk about why I think that is. But yeah, for me, everything you see back there, over this side, everything you see back there, my brother has played. I have played all of this. Haven't beat it all. I would say probably 60% I've beaten. If it depends on the type of game it is. Some of the games aren't about beating them. But GameCube wise, I beat probably higher than that, probably close to 80% of the games that I own. Same thing when it comes to my PlayStation here. It's probably a lesser percentage of PlayStation because, again, a lot of those games aren't beat them games, unless you're talking about the RPGs and whatnot. But a lot of them are like action. There are a lot of sports games and stuff like that I played. Action games, obviously, they're for beating and whatnot. As you can see, you could see. It's probably a little bit out of. Let me see if I can turn it here. You can see siphon filter there, siphon filter over here. I don't know where I'm at. Siphon filter here, my PlayStation. So, obviously, Super Street Fighter isn't a beat it game. Yeah, you can beat it, but it's not that kind of game. But yeah, so that's the kind of gamer I am. I like physical media. I'm always going to like physical media. I'm going to care less and less about your things with no physical media. Obviously, I play games that I don't have physical media for. My Xbox stuff. But even with that, actually, I forgot this. Well, ended on this. I waited. I waited for this. And I actually have 2 copies of this game because it's a special edition also. I paid stupid money for this because I wanted this on the disc. And it's gone down in price. I paid a lot of money for it originally, but I bought a second version, which was almost half the price of what I paid, but it was open. But I did want it to be open because I wanted to be able to actually interact with the physical stuff that was inside. So That's why I bought it. And this thing has 4 discs, people. 4-disc console, yeah, in 2025. 4-disc games, which is crazy. But yeah, so I wanted to have a physical game, and I paid way more for this. PS5, you don't have to buy. The only way to buy this game is the special edition on the Xbox. PS5, you can just buy the game itself. It's a lot cheaper. But I was like, I play on Xbox, so I wanted the Xbox version, and I paid a lot more for it. So I have no problem paying more for games that are cheaper on other consoles if I can get it the way I want it on the console I want to play it on. So yeah, that's my video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What do you think about game key cards? What do you think about paying more for physical games on the cart when it comes to Switch 2? I did that on Switch 1. There were indie games and whatnot that were more expensive, and I had no problem paying the Switch tax, as it's called. And I still don't have a problem paying that. So let me know, what about you? Do you have a problem with the Switch tax? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you again for watching and listening, and now see you fools next time. Peace out.